Yo, Carl here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, big thrust in the market today. We are finally at the dreaded all-time highs on the QQQs, and we're starting to get there a little bit, on the SPY. We're getting closer and closer. About 480 is the sweet spot. We are at decision time. So we have a couple things going for us. Number one, the price action has been incredibly strong. People that are shorting are getting run over by the fucking bus, right? So we've got to be super careful. I apologize for the swearing. We got to be super careful here, trying to short. But the big hairy Indian butt is that we are at a big level of resistance. And you know what? Resistance resists at times. Right now, we haven't seen any kind of resistance ever the last month or so. But, we are getting into these sweet spots. And so we're going to have to be really careful in these coming days because we are overbought, we are extended, and we are at resistance. But we have seen no signs yet of the market rolling over, right? And so we can't step in front of the short bus, but we have to be careful on the long side. Guys, I've had this so many times in my life where the market gets so extended and, maybe you kind of underperform a little bit in the beginning of the rally, and then you start kind of catching your groove towards the end, and then you start going in like real deep into names and real heavy size, and then that day the market turns and you got some, zero DT options or something going on, too much leverage, and dude, you smoke out 25, 30, 50% of your kind of like really relatively in a handful of days because you get smoked out that first day, then you're trying to play catch up, the coming days. And so you got to be a little bit careful here. There are still a lot of good setups, and, we are breaking levels of resistance on the IWM. So, once again, the market is bullish. The price action is bullish, but we do have some booby traps coming in, and we've got to just kind of be careful of this, when we're doing this, right? And so if we take a look at market breadth, this is a measure, right? How many stocks are going up, breakouts versus breakdowns. Dude, we had a lot of breakouts today, dude. Right out of the gate, first candle, boom. Stocks like Coin, Affirm, Mara, UPST, right? All right out of the gate. But we are getting into this, the T2108. I'm going to keep bringing this up because, guys, I have very rarely seen, right, this thing hit into the 80s and the market not have some kind of pullback. If we compare it, right, with the QQQs here, almost every time that you come, you get these kind of pullbacks. They don't have to be a big crashy pullbacks or anything like that, but you do get kind of significant, you can get significant moves. And so we got to be careful. We're at resistance. We're overbought. Market breadth is getting crazy, but we don't have any signs of rollover yet. So for me, this is like, I'm still gung-ho aggressively trading, but I got to watch the size, right? I got to watch the size to make sure that I don't get caught with my pants down, all right? One of the things that you also want to probably do, wire out your profits so far. Take your accounts when this starts to happen, even if you don't wire them all out, start taking your accounts down to some level of baseline. That's going to be a big help. I do that. I've been doing that nonstop the last couple of weeks. Sometimes every day, like whatever. You make a 5-6 grand or whatever it might be, just keep taking it out. Because look, you got to pay the taxes at the end of the year anyways, and you don't want to, it's not your money till it's in your bank account, right? And, you use it for something. Let's take a look at the setups. There's some good lookers here. First of all, love the look on these solars. We've got like big base breakouts here. And then like these kind of small consolidation patterns, nice volume on Maxin. It's got good range, up 15% today. I think this is going to be one of these kind of tax loss selling plays that could get picked off and see some momentum. Dude, the 200-day moving average is not till 200. How many stocks are even under the 200-day moving average right now? Not many, right? So this is something we want to be a part of. PDD, very tight. We got flag breakout over here. Shoals is another one. This is a solar stock. Shitty action on this one while the rest of them were going. But you do have a nice kind of flag pattern that's developing here. A little wicky, and the price action not so good, but there is a setup there. Oldmatch.com, this is a bottoming pattern, right? So you got this kind of basing pattern, a little bit of consolidation over the 50-day moving average. It's a Pudo, right? Baba, China names. Look at the volume accumulation that's been happening. you're starting to catch a little bit of a bid in this one. And Baidu, right? You got big bases in kind of both of these. Watch this Baidu too. You've got this like tight range that it's coming out of. And then when it comes out of that, like boom, right? You got yourself some good God-fearing range, tightness of range there. So just be a little bit mindful. I like those. I got the breakout pullback on PayPal. Let's watch this thing. If it rebounds toward the 200-day moving average, it's going to start to speed up. I think for those of you guys that like a little specky, this VFS closed pretty nice here. You've got a big, this is right, the Tesla Bhutan or Nepal or right? Something like that. This thing's got a nice pattern over here. It's starting to peek its head. The volume's starting to come in a little bit too. Tomorrow, W. Week open on this one. And week open on this one. Watch the red to green take out a 67. It's going to have some range. It lacks a little bit of liquidity at the open, but it's got some juice there, guys. It's got some juice there. Love Peloton. You're at a spot right here. 650, show and go, right? Man, if you get a week open on this one, you break that 650, or if it just busts through that first candle, sometimes that's been happening a lot. Don't be afraid of these names. It's been happening all over, man. Right now, you got to really mark out your pre-market levels, and sometimes everything is just shredding the first candle. A lot of professional traders tell you, like, wait out the first 15, 30 minutes. That's bullshit. You got to come in hot on the first candle sometimes. You just need to know your levels. Of course, it can create losses. It's a lot of volatility if you don't know what to do. But you got to have your strategy so tight that you know when to do it and when not to, right? Like, look at some of these bad boys. Sometimes they just go the first candle and then they sit around the rest of the day, like, right? Like, you got to come in at the open sometimes. That's just the nature of the game, right? Like, look at all the range at the open. Like, you need to know how to corral this, how to, right, mitigate it and do all that kind of fun stuff, right? So it is a dangerous time to trade, but once you know what you're doing, then it's the best time. Hey, a little bit more speculative, but you got flat top breakout on this MQ right here. 11 million shares. Well, you usually don't put these kind of cheaper names, right? But you got 11 million shares in volume on this thing. I think that's got a good shot at it, You got Task. You got the 90 EMA curling right up under it. It's got a good look to it. I think if we need shorts, we go in with the CVNA on a gap up. If we need a short in the market, I'm not looking to short. I'm just saying if we need one, it's going to be probably this one. It's up 50%, right? Something like that, or UPST or something. You want to really kind of go for liquidity and what's up the most to kind of take these things down. If we need the short, and you never know. We are at resistance. It is possible, right, that the market gaps up, breaks through ATH, they throw the algos on or some big sell program and flush it down and then bring it back up later. That happens a lot when you break out ATH. Do not go balls deep in the first few minutes and don't leave yourself room the rest of the day, right? I do this all the time. So you got a max loss of $5,000. You go in, you see this big setup, you go in the first few minutes, you hit your max, and then, it flushes out, and then it ends up rebounding, and you get this huge trend day or something. You're just like, right? I kind of blew it at the open. So just be careful. Tomorrow is not the day to be like all in first candle. Today the setup was there a little bit, to really shred at the open, but I don't think it's going to be there for tomorrow. Beam's got a level right here. Man, nice easy breakout. Watch this 30 spot. These are the kind of patterns that you want to trade right now. Things that are not extended, that are going to get picked off. VSCO, something similar, right? Like nobody's talking about some of these names. These are the ones like you got beautiful range right here, right? Decent ATR, nice flag pattern. You got your EMAs curling up right up under it. Like this is a no-brainer type of setup. People aren't talking about it. That's the problem when sometimes with some of these stocks like AI and stuff like that. When everybody's watching them, oftentimes they shred and they can shred really good, but then they can roll over too because it's just so heavily watched. So just something to kind of be mindful of. I think PACW can be like that. You've got 7 million shares in volume, right? Breakout, pullback, right? Watch this 200-day moving average here. I would say that there's a little distribution happening here, but it seems like it's not mattering as much of recent. and then CDNA, and then we had an inside day in SMCI. So watch this one. This one gapped down and then just kind of farted around. Watch this one for an inside day. That setup has been working like butter these days. A weak open on this one, and you may go double inside day takeout of range. I think you're going to have a chance on that. So watch these solars too. I really like this setting. Weak open on this one. Great volume pattern, all that kind of fun stuff. You got a lot of good things happening, guys. So let's be focused. Remember, we're at resistance. We are overbought. Fingers on the trigger if we need to short. I haven't seen the setup yet, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Guys, God bless you. It's Christmas time. It's Hanukkah. It's the Kwanzaa. It's Diwali. It's Christmas. Everything. Let's have some fun. This is a great time to trade into the new year. Let's shred.